think the Munster draw today just signalled the end of the Tier 2 proposal that the GAA have brought in, because Cork have been drawn against Kerry in the Munster semi-final, which means that if Cork don't win, they're going into the Tier 2 competition, because you need to get into the final of a provincial competition if you're a Division 3 or 4 team to even get into the All-Ireland competition. So do the GAA want Cork not in it? Huge footballing county, the way they often talk about football needs Dublin and all this crack down through the years, Offaly needs, or hurling needs Offaly. But Cork are a potential superpower in football if they get their act together, or certainly an All-Ireland challenger. They won it in 2010, so to think 10 years later they wouldn't even be competing for the trophy, that's just something that isn't going to go down well across the country. Cork are certainly not going to vote for Tier 2 with that sort of a situation going on. I saw a tweet from Pat Nolan this morning at the Mirror. One of the glaring flaws in the proposed Tier 2 system exposed in this morning's draw. As things stand, Division 3 Cork must beat All-Ireland finalist Kerry to avoid Tier 2. In this competition, they would have got the same reward for beating Limerick. So imagine that, from 2019 to 20, the change over there. Whereas on the flip side of the draw, Waterford are against Limerick and Clare against Tipperary in the quarterfinals. One of those 4 teams will come out in the Munster final, and therefore have a chance of playing for the All-Ireland series. So even if you kind of tease that out and look at other teams across the country that are in this situation, Down were in an All-Ireland final against Cork in 2010. Obviously haven't been a massive challenger since then, but if they get a bad draw, that means they'll go into the Tier 2 competition and not be able to challenge for an All-Ireland. The exact same for Derry. And I know a lot of these teams haven't been in contention anyway, but there is an issue of teams kind of straddling the line. Look, it all comes back to the notion that this Tier 2 proposal that is going to Special Congress on October 19th, it's not well thought out. It doesn't consider all the intricacies of what's going on. Just don't think it makes sense. And the real conclusion is just also, when you look at the draw for both Munster and Connacht that was made today, and not to mention Leinster yesterday, the provinces are dead in terms of exciting competitions. I don't think anyone is all of a sudden whetting their appetite for what's going to happen next summer. The draws are ridiculously early anyway. But if you look at the Connacht draw, New York and Galway is one of the quarterfinals, also London Roscommon, and then Mayo Leitrim. So you're going to end up with a situation where Galway are obviously going to win in New York unless there's a massive shock. They'll play Sligo, who they'd fancy beating. On the other side, Mayo are definitely going to beat Leitrim, and Roscommon should win in London, although there's been a few shock or surprises there, or nervy encounters there for teams that have gone over. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty boring draw. We've kind of seen it before so many times. But yeah, it's the Tier 2 issue once again. Even if it does go through in Congress, Special Congress in October, there will be another full Congress at the start of next year around February time, and something could come in and supersede that. Although the CPA chairman Micheál Briody did say that there's a chance that if this does go through, it would have to be incorporated into whatever they bring through, or whatever is brought through in other proposals in Congress next year. So I think there'll be an awful lot of people worried about the Tier 2, but this draw should have really rammed it home. The idea that Cork, a team that is rising, I mean, they battered Laois in the qualifiers this year. Laois are a Division 2 team, so if Laois don't get through their provincial championship, they'll still be playing for an All-Ireland, whereas Cork, who are on a massive upward trend, or feel like they should, even though they didn't win any Super 8 games, they were definitely competitive. But this should ram home how ill-fitting the new Tier 2 proposal is.